you guys. Hi there. So hold on, because we have magic. We're going to get Phil in here in just a second. Can you hear me, Lisa?
I can hear you loud and clear.
So how do I get Phil? If I do the three people, is Phil going to
Just go to
show?
your
Let me,
yeah, go to your
let me.
three shot and bring him in.
Okay, let me see how I can get him in here because right now I am not able to. Let's see. There he is. Hey, Phil, can you
There he
hear
is.
us?
I can
Hi.
hear you.
Awesome.
Hi.
Awesome. Okay, so we all got in
Come on now.
here.
Come on.
Uh,
Hey there, hey there, hey there, K9. So this is our first night, Leslie Sides.
Woo!
Woo!
We made it. I'm in my dressing room. It is I just got here.
So you guys, so we didn't think Phil was gonna make it. So I set the show up for darling Lisa Marie Todd, who's just incredible. Lisa is the reason and the season why and how more than anything we are here on YouTube right now. Lisa is a fabulous, wonderful, talented woman who helps people create their social media platforms, especially women over a certain age. And I'm one of those over a certain age. And so Lisa and I got on. We're like, okay, so we're going to run this, and I'll leave a window open in case Phil makes it. And look at the bless. Look at the gift. Look at the
Come
handsome
on
fella.
now.
I love it.
Phil, let me
I
show
love it.
you what I had created in case you weren't able to come.
Oh,
So we knew. So we had a placeholder for you, baby. We had a
hold on, hold
placeholder
on.
for you. Wait, there he is. There he is. He has no sense, no sense. We love him so much, so
That's why
much.
I'm here.
So
So
funny.
glad. So, now that you're here, Phil, how's it going over there on set?
Well, I have to start by saying thank you guys, both to you and to Lisa for upping our game and creating something that I think is really great, and I think will be fun for all the people that follow us and for the people who tend to see us who are newbies and stuff. I really, really want to thank you guys. They worked very hard on this, everybody, and so I just want to give them their flowers because they really put it down. We did a little test yesterday. I was very impressed. I was very surprised, and at a certain point, Lisa was like, "Well, does he like it?" Because I was just being
You're very
kind
quiet.
of, yeah, pretty quiet, having worked all day and whatnot, just like today. But yes, I was so proud of you guys for doing this for us and with us, and it just shows the growth of this particular journey that we're on. The vision is possible, and this is another part of it being possible. So thank you so much, you guys.
Absolutely, honey. So glad. Woo! Lisa, he likes it. He likes
Super good,
Hey,
super
thank
good.
you.
So happy about this. So, like Phil's been working. So, we were going to have Lisa on as our guest. Ward Wilson is saying hello to you, Phil. Can you see the comments?
Hey Ward, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, Kay, hey, Kolsch, what's up? What's up?
Coach
Net. I
from
can see him. I
Costa
can't
Rica.
respond though, because Iona's the host.
Yeah, but from Costa Rica, Mariela Baltonado.
Listen, Iona, look at Iona. Well, I'm here doing the Upshaws. I wish I had a scroll. Oh, here,
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
Yes.
Upshaws,
yeah.
and we're written by one of our friends that we're going to have on, Dino Shorte,
Love Tino.
and starring Mike Epps, Wanda Sykes, Kim Fields, and some other really talented actors. And I've been very fortunate to have them bring me in for a role, and this is my third episode. It's the season finale, so I'm eternally grateful, and I hope they get us another season.
Want to congratulate you, Phil, on that, but I got to give you some flowers, baby. So, like, Phil was hired for 2 episodes, you guys, only two, and he was
Actually,
so.
one.
Excuse me, Phil was hired for 1 episode, you guys, and he
Wow.
was so awesome. They gave him another one, and then they were like, "We can't even have the finale without the incredible Phil Morris," and so. That's why he's there, and that's why we were up and not knowing about tonight. So how awesome, Phil!
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's
That's
great.
great.
And I've been saying, Lisa, for the last couple of weeks, I blame these people on Thursday nights. I blame each and every one of you. I see all of you. I see all of you. Because this energy that I think we're generating is so good. You know, it affects us. It affects our lives. It touches us. And I'm grateful for the people who have tuned in. I'm grateful for the energy and the support. This is such a beautiful format for us, for people
Yeah.
that, I mean, and 90% of these people, we do not know them. And,
That's
and they just give us such love, right? I mean, such love. So thank you guys for supporting us.
Yeah, it's
like
great. Malaysia's kicking in. And go ahead, Lisa, please.
I was gonna say you give so much back. I've obviously watched the show and the insights, the love, the support you give to your audience is valuable, invaluable. So
Yeah.
flowers to you guys.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you, baby.
Um,
And
Le-
go
Lisa,
ahead, honey.
you've seen a lot of this. I mean, you do a lot of social media. You do a lot of this. What?
I did, yeah, the production side too, of
Right.
just getting something like this up and running for people because there's so many possibilities. And I feel like it's my baby. My baby's
Well,
in the
talk to us
world.
a little bit about that because people like Ione and I,
Please.
I'm not a natural. I'm not an organic person with this technology. It's very new for me, but it's so beneficial. Talk to us a little bit about how we as individuals can use this and incorporate this so it can expand our platform, our brand, whatever.
Absolutely. So, as Iona said, I work with women and men of a certain age who
Over
maybe
50.
over 50. Yeah, sure.
Fair enough.
Who may be a little technology shy. And so I'm all in it. I went to school back in the day before I was in the business for television production and all that sort of stuff. So this is second nature to me to be switching scenes and building out scenes and all that stuff. So I just think we, as a population who has so much experience to share, that shouldn't just be swept under the rug. It should be shared. To have a vehicle like this, like a YouTube or wherever you want to go live, and to build a community and to share all that knowledge and not let it just go away somewhere is so
Mm-hmm.
important. So I'm on a mission to get people comfortable with doing what you guys are doing and spreading their word, their message, their knowledge, their joy through this because it's powerful and you can reach so many people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my purpose right now and I love it and it's fun and there's just let's more people do this.
You know, what's really groovy too about what you're talking about, I want to piggyback and then come back to you, Lisa, is that as most of you know, and some of you who are new to us on YouTube may not know, I called Phil for a one night conversation on another platform, and now we're over 80 shows in. And then after a year, the vision, I know, right? The Vision is Possible name came up. And in between those shows, I go to a gathering of a lot of people, and Lisa's there, and we start talking. And then I say, well, this is what I'm doing at this little show. She says, well, this is what I do. And then we go from there. And the reason why I bring that up is not only because Lisa's fantastic, it's because you guys, one night has turned into over 80 shows. We were talking earlier about following your dream. And so many people you play out your dreams in your mind, and then you go, oh, it's not going to happen. Instead of just take that first step. The first step was a one night call on a Tuesday to Phil. What you doing Thursday night? You want to have a conversation with me? Because I'm supposed to do that. And here we are. And then, Lisa, I know you've experienced this with other people.
Yeah, I want people to get out of their own way. I'm going to say it that way because we'll get in our mind, we'll get a mindset of, life has passed by, we're too old, we shouldn't be, YouTube is for the young and it's for everybody. And so I just encourage people to, step out of your own way and get a little uncomfortable because the more you get
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, the more comfortable you'll eventually get in whatever you're doing. And we forget that because we're just like, oh no, I don't want to be seen. I can't be on camera. Oh, I don't want to talk to that person. But as you said, you and I had that conversation out of the blue, realized we had crossed paths back in the day in our youth of acting, being
Right,
young
right.
actresses back in the day. And you never know who you're going to run into, have a conversation. You never know where it's going to go, what it's going to turn into, who you're going to connect with, or who's going to connect you with somebody. So just at this point in our lives, let's be open, stay flexible, stay
Mm.
curious. Like
Mm.
stay
Oh
curious,
man, we've used that word a
you know?
lot. Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
don't let that go.
I love what you said about being uncomfortable because I hired a social media company, excuse me, for a 3 month contract. And he gave me a list of things that he was going to do with me. And he said, one of them is we like all of our clients to do one show on live show. And I said, oh, I'm not going to do that. At the end of the contract, he says, Iona. So I call up Phil. I was scared. I was like, I have nothing to say. What's going to happen? He and I vibed. Of course, brother and sister, but still, we just talked. And then we went from there. And every week it was, well, what are we going to talk about this week? What are we going to do? And then it turned into this thing. And then I met you. And then you teaching me these, can I say ECAM?
Yes,
E- E-
please do.
Ecamm is Ecamm Live, you guys. It is an awesome app. Would it be a
It's
platform
a software. It's a yeah, it's a software
software?
that on yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that Lisa was teaching me, and she said, "No, this is what you need to use to go on YouTube." And I'm like, "Can't we just set up the phone and do this?" And it took me so long, and I was frustrated. And Lisa stayed with me, and then one day it just clicked, and I started creating all this stuff, and here we are. And so being uncomfortable is really kind of a good place to be in, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Yeah, let go
I
of the
agree.
complacency. Yeah.
I, I'm looking for something now that is speaking to what we're saying, and they're sending me copies of it that I don't like. So it is pretty intense. So just give me a second to find it and
Okay,
speak amongst yourself. It's pretty interesting.
Talk amongst ourselves.
It's
we sure
pretty
will.
pretty interesting. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're talking about keeping the channel open, right? Talking about keeping the life force right there, staying inquisitive, staying curious about life, staying excited about it. So there's a letter that I recommend everybody read. Humans, period, but artists especially. Letter from Martha to Agnes de Mille.
Oh,
Both
Mm.
yes.
both of them very famous choreographers. Iona knows this. And this letter was turned on to me by another actor, a very famous actor. And they said, you got to read this letter. Because Agnes de Mille was a very famous avant garde choreographer who had a lot of shows in New York that were panned by the critics, just panned. And she loved them. They were her babies, they were her heart. And then she took a big job for money and it was very commercial. And she did it and she hated it. But the critics loved it, loved it. And that show was Oklahoma. And Agnes
Hmm.
DeMille just did not know what to do. She goes, everything I love, they hate. Everything I hate, they love. What am I doing? I don't understand. What is this all about? So Martha Graham wrote her this letter, and I'm going to read it verbatim to you. There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is you. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable it is, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work. You have to keep open and aware directly to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There's no satisfaction whatever at any time. There is only a queer, divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than the others. So
Wow.
Wow.
Phil,
it's
oh, could you give me the name of that again? I'm going to write this in the comments.
it's
Humans?
called A Letter from Martha Graham.
Okay. Thank you.
And I loved it because it really dispels all of our inner ego, you
Yeah.
know, the thing that keeps us from the truth that resides within each one of us. Because if you exist, if you are alive, if you hear my voice, you matter. and you belong and you require certain things, whether you are aware of it or you are not. And what Martha Graham is saying is that it's not your business to judge it.
Yeah.
It's only your business to hear your truth and act on it. And that's what Lisa's
Yeah.
talking about. That's what I was talking about. That's what we talk
Yeah.
about every week.
And can I just piggyback on that, because I have clients that just because they think somebody else has already done it, they feel that I can't do it because someone else has already done it. But to go back to what you just talked about, you might be saying the same thing as someone else, but you're bringing your flavor, your experience, your knowledge, and that's different from what that other person who may be talking about the same topic. So you can't let that hold you back. I loved what you just read, because people need to hear that. Only you can make something the way it should be that will resonate with whoever wants to hear it. And that's the other thing. Not everybody's going to like what you say or do, but you'll find the people who like you and they'll stick with you. As you guys see, you have your followers here. They've, they're there. But you do you keep doing you. It's none of your business. Just do what you're supposed to be doing in life. And, the people that are supposed to be with you and you're supposed to rise up with will find you, and you all will rise together. I believe, I love that. I love that you read that.
It is so
You
true.
guys, you brought it out of me. I wouldn't have brought it up if the moment didn't call for it.
It's that voice in our head, call it spirit, the inner voice that comes up, that desire to create something. It could be the littlest thing. A man I know had a cupcake business. He sold it for millions of dollars just because he liked making cupcakes. And then one after one after one came. He didn't have in his mind, though, that he's going to sell 1 million cupcakes or $1 million worth, or sell his business. All he had in his mind is, I like doing this and people love it, and it's feeding my soul. And I think that's a lot of what we're talking about. Feed your soul. Instead of sitting there just going through and knocking down everything that could happen, that could go wrong. What do I really know what I'm doing? Well, no, you may not. Phil and I didn't know what we were doing when the Vision is Possible happened. I didn't know what I was doing in order to create This Is Happening. Phil shows up for one day on the Upshaws, and now he's doing 3-episode arc, or maybe not 3-episode arc, but 3 episodes. So we never know, you guys. It's important for us to not get in our way and judge ourselves so completely, and usually not with a lot of love.
Can I just talk about that voice in your head that's
Come
on the
on.
other side, that's saying the not saying the right stuff? I like to name that voice. Mine is called Cassandra. And when Cassandra gets in my business and in my head saying, you can't do this and you can't do that, my response is, that's cute. All right, you said your piece, bye-bye. And I think if we kind of name that little gremlin that pops up, and because it is, we're human, we're gonna have our self-doubts, and we're gonna have that, oh, you can't do this, blah, 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 blah. So I just named her Cassandra, and she can yap all she wants, and then bye.
Bye.
Bye, Cassandra.
Bye, Cassandra.
Bye-bye.
Go see your sister Felicia.
Exactly.
I like
You know,
that.
we're talking about mental health. That mental
Yes,
wellness.
yes.
Exactly.
That's what this
Yeah.
is. And I think that the more we deal with it, and people think it's a big thing, right? And it is. It can be huge, but it gets huge through small microaggressions or micro incidents or situations that build up, and then we have a real problem. But what we're saying here is that you acknowledge it in the moment. You voice. You tell it, "I see you. I hear you. I'm just not going to listen." You know what I mean? I get it.
Yeah.
I'm human. I'm going to have doubts and misgivings and understandings that I don't completely get. That's what growing is about. That's what maturing is about. That's what evolving is about. So you need those parts and moments of darkness in order to find the light. There's no other way. You only come from knowledge from no knowledge. So don't beat yourself up that you don't know. Just challenge yourself to find your truth, find your answers. We all have different questions that are, resonating within each one of us. It's finding, for me, it's finding my answers for, let's say, my career. and finding those places that I'm blocking myself from my full expression. And as I take the blocks away and I take the filters that I have in me away, the misgivings, right, the self doubts away, the more accessible I am to all the truths that live within me. You know, we're holding
Hmm.
them back. So as we allow ourselves to see them, oh, that's a lie. Oh, hey, Cassandra, you're a lie. Or hey, Bartholomew, whatever you want to call him. I get you. I hear you, but you're lying. So I don't need you. Um, I, appre- I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna use that, but
I
that
like that.
helps us.
I like that. The one I use is you can go sit in the corner now.
Hmm.
Go sit in the corner and you can watch and I find acknowledging that voice, that little gremlin, just sit over there makes it a lot easier. Like I've acknowledged because if you ignore, it's like anything, you ignore something, it just stays there. But once you acknowledge it, you put it away from you. And that's so important. Phil, you're so right. That mental health. How many
Hmm.
times we get caught up in the madness of our minds. We allow our minds to lead us instead of calm. We've talked a lot about meditating and breathing, just calm, journaling, writing out how you're feeling, not letting that negativity bother you. I often tell people, what would you tell somebody else if they came to you with the same situation you're talking about? Would you dog them like you're dogging your own personhood? No. You'd uplift them and say, don't even think about that. Leave that over there. Don't let that bother you. And that's what we have to do more for ourselves, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. No,
Absolutely.
you need to feed your soul. And you can't look
Hmm.
outside and where's my mentor? How come the teacher that I need in life hasn't shown up? Well, that's why they're not showing up because you are looking in the wrong areas, which is outside of yourself. What you need to do is come
Mm.
come back home and really, have that come to Jesus meeting with you and know who you are and where you want to go, as opposed to going out there and finding somebody to help you with what do you want to help you with? If you don't know, how can they know?
A-
Right.
So
And you're prone to getting false leaders. I don't
Oh,
say
come
false
on.
prophets, but false leaders that are telling you
Hmm.
things that are not right for you because it's what they need you to do or to pay them or whatever. So,
right.
you go down that path and then you're further behind than where you started. So,
It just happened to a friend of ours, Phil. You know about this. Our dear sister Linda was working with her on her book, and this poor woman spent $10,000 with the wrong people who led her down a path, and then said, "Bye bye, go do your thing," and she's left with not knowing what to do. And so that is so true what you bring up, and we have a little question here, you guys, from K9, Philly, Iona, and Lisa. What's the meaning of life to you?
I'm going to jump
do we,
in because I had a
yeah,
moment the
please
other
do.
day. This is a big question. I mean, really, what's the meaning of life to you? Um, I like that they said two, because maybe we can talk about it. I have no idea what the meaning of life is,
Thank you.
but I had a moment the other day that showed me a little bit of what life is. So things have been going fairly well, and I have something coming up that's even bigger than all the things that have been going well. And I got very emotional driving home after I had had a wonderful experience up the mountain with my Good Vibes Breakfast Club people who I just love dearly. And we're all up there in our hot cars, and we're so grateful and blessed to have these vehicles and be able to do the things that we do. And we talk about it and we speak about it all the time. We don't take any of that for granted. Then I left there and I went to a wonderful audiobook session for a James Patterson book. It's fabulous. And I was driving home. I started to realize how much my life is resulting in positive energy for me, how grateful I am for all of the ups and downs in it, because it's all brought me to where I am now, and how beautiful my life is now, how wonderful my children are, how wonderful my wife is, and how wonderful my sisters are. And the legacy that Iona and my sister Linda and I carry is very magical. And my life is magical, it truly is. And I got very emotional, and it was like painful, but revelatory in a way. And I realized that, well, that's what life is. Life is going through everything you go through in life, experiencing it all, warts and all, accepting it, and converting it into the most positive journey that you can possibly have on this planet. That's life. And we all have different journeys. We all have different qualifications and ways that we're going about it. But if you are going about it in a way that pushes you forward, that finds agreement in the universe with your God, with whatever it is that moves you, motivates you, that's life. You're living your life. You're not just surviving, you're living. And it was very humbling to me. And I almost pulled over because my eyes got all watery and I couldn't really see the road. Because it was a moment that showed me, yes, brother. Yes. Keep it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up. Keep doing the next thing. Stop judging yourself and others. Keep the channel flipping open and be the person you need to be. It was just so clear. It was so beautiful. I was so grateful for that moment.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
beautiful.
That's beautiful, Phil. Lisa, you have something?
Yeah, at this point in my life, and I have to phrase this right, I've made a choice to stay unbothered. And when I say that,
Mm.
life is going to happen, stuff is going to happen. But I've found when I don't get all emotional into it, it always works itself out. It may not be pretty, but it always works itself out. So I'm like, why am I going to bother and make myself emotionally upset and make my blood pressure go up and feel ill and feel stressed when if I just take a step back and breathe and think about how can I, rearrange this or make this work in a more positive way rather than getting so upset, it just will all work itself out. It just does. And I'm not trying to be a Pollyanna, ish about
Mm-mm.
it or whatever, but it
Mm-mm.
does work itself out. And I think when we're get so flustered and trying to fix, that's when we make mistakes or make choices that are not the right choices because we're not in a straightforward thinking mindset. So again, when I say I choose to be unbothered, and that's with people, places, and things that are bringing their madness to me. Again, along with Cassandra, you can go over there and do that because I'm focused on trying to live my best life and love the people I love and uplift the people I want, to uplift. So I don't know if that answered the question, but that's where I am right
Yeah.
now.
That's beautiful, Lisa. That's beautiful. You guys have both said such beautiful things about that. I feel like life is joy. We're here to be joyful and to be. I really feel an inspiration to others. I'm. I feel my life is not just about me, just getting my groove on in life, but I feel like it's also about where can I be also a source of inspiration to others. It's here is one place. When I leave, Phil and my sister laugh at me because I'll walk down the street and say, "Oh, you're looking good today. You got nice hair. You look at your smile." And it's about there are beautiful things in life. There's funky stuff going on all the time. But that's not meant to rule us. If we're here, I believe that our spirits are here to not only be joyful, but to grow within ourselves. Um, and that's where I am in my life right now. I'm consciously in a growth path. And it's so funny because you would think at this age that I would be like settled. And some people have said, "Are you ready to retire?" And I'm like, no, I'm in a different phase of learning, of expanding who I am, slowing down so I can really smell the roses. And I feel like if we don't do that for ourselves, and being an example as people are always looking at us and feeling our vibe, then there's no reason to be here. Life is, I, well, it could be Pollyanna too, Lisa or Phil. But I do think it's to be joyful and to provide joy for others as well.
Iona, you make a great point because how do you feel when you're joyful? You feel magical. You feel light. You feel
Mhm.
all is possible, right? And when you're not in that place, when you're down and you're dark and you're dirty and you're feeling ugly and you're feeling, put upon or set aside, the weight of it, that just shows you the difference, right? Does
Mhm.
Are we here for the weight? Are we here for the difficulties, the hardships? There are those, yes, there are those things, but that isn't what it's about, And so when you ask about
Mhm.
what it's about and you say joy, I agree with you. But just because of the way it makes you feel, it's like when they say, it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. It takes less energy to be joyous than it does to be unhappy. And so it just shows you, in a way, scientifically, molecularly, cellularly, what that that perhaps if you do have a Pollyanna attitude, you're winning. Just,
Woo!
Well, I said that with caution because you don't want to be your head in the winds,
oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
no,
La
we
la
get it.
la. Not,
we
We
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
we get it
So,
because we've
yeah.
been head in the winds. We've discussed this before, and with all that being said, I also want to say one thing about Lisa. Do you guys remember? Let me see.
Okay.
There was this little show called In Living Color.
Oh, yeah,
You remember that show? And there are
yeah, I
these
do.
dancers. They were always up in there doing it. Lisa was one of those dancers with
The
the
Fly
the
Girls.
fly girls. She was flying.
Trying to be
Lisa.
fly.
Oh no, you were flying, Miss Lisa. You were flying. Been in this entertainment business, doing all sorts of wonderful things for a long time. And that brings up something. That
Uh-oh.
brings up where, you're in the entertainment business, you're dancing, you're living your life, and now you have created another Lisa. What was that like for you? What change did you make in your life or need to make? What was
Let me roll back. I've had many cat lives, and I'm going to say it that way because entertainment business. I had a home fragrance and personal fragrance and jewelry line that did very well. And still have the cooking show that I was doing. So I am all about, and I have always been about I don't like to use that word reinvention, but I'm going to use it because I think it gets overused. But I'm like reiterating myself. I'll say it that way, reiteration rather than reinvention.
mm,
So it's taking where I've landed now, and then how can I make that Lisa 2.0, Lisa 3.0? Because you don't let go of things. Everything you learn, I feel like at some point is useful. Nothing is wasted. That job you had that you hated, there might have been a kernel of something that you learned that in the moment you in your 20s you thought this is ridiculous, but I can guarantee you've used some of it later down in life. So nothing ever is wasted. So I've had many, iterations of my life. And so I think it's when it starts, and I'm not going to use the word stale, when it starts to not feel natural. Again, I don't like to use the word authentic because it's been overused, but when it doesn't feel natural to the flow of how I want my life to be, then it's time to start thinking about doing it a little bit differently. And when I get to that point, I stop and I pause and I go, okay, this is how I want to live my life. These are the people I want surrounding me. These are the people I want to help. How do I do that? Because what I'm doing now is not getting me there. It's not giving me that joy that I want to
mm,
have and that I want to spread. So I think it's always just taking that pause back and just reevaluating where you are, because who you are in your 20s is different from who you are in your 30s, blah, 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 on.
On
I'm
down the line.
61, I'm
so true.
61 now. And there's a lot of things that I wanted to do or be or have when I was in my 30s, 40s that I could care less about now because it's just not important.
Yes.
Having the right people around me is important. Helping people around. Not that I didn't do all that back then, but it's just even more important because the clock is ticking, y'all. Let's be real. And I want to
Yes.
be the best I can be for myself and for others at this point. So I think that's why I've landed where I have now, because I want to see people shine. I want them to spread their knowledge and their words and their joy with other people, because we need that right now in this world. We need more positive than the negative that we're being, shoved down our throat every
Exposed to.
single day, 24/7. So
Yes.
if I can help in any little way, I'm there. I'm in.
I
I'm your
get it.
girl. I'm your
I get
woman.
it. You talk about we're not who we were when we were 20, 30, 40. That's so true. And people, and I'm working now, and I'm working with a lot of people that I've worked with in the past, and a lot of shows. I've done a lot of work in my career. And they ask me, "Wow, you still working, man? You still?" Yeah, I'm still working because, and these are new earphones, people. So excuse me because I'm just trying to get them comfortable. Um, yeah, I'm still working. Why? Because I'm not standing on ceremony. I'm not the young
Yeah.
man anymore. I'm not even trying to be that. I want to be whoever I'm supposed to be now. You see all this.
And
I
Right.
don't color my hair. I don't
Right.
do. If production
Right.
wants it dark, I'll darken it. But there's no way I'm going to be who I am in this life. And so as I continue to evolve, understand my uniqueness, my authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
um, I
Mm-hmm.
will move forward in the way the universe tells me to move forward. It's beyond
absolutely.
me. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You have a plan, and that's cool.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
there's reality, and the plan and reality can match up if you are firmly aware of the reality that you live in. And so, as an artist, I have been very aware of who I am and where I've been my whole career. So I just make the moves that I need to make as an artist to evolve. As a human being,
Mm-hmm.
it's one and the same. It's hand in glove. And that's why I work to this day. That's why I'm so happy when I do work. That's why I feel like I'm better now than I've ever been because I'm not trying to be what I was. I am only looking at who I am and how I can bring that forward, not go backwards.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I think that is so, I'm so with you. You know, what's really good to hear is we can change our minds.
absolutely.
We grow and our spirit says, I need this, I need that, I want, this is what I'm looking for, this is what's important to me. And you wait 10 or 20 years and then you go, now this is what's important to me. And a lot of people stay stuck. And giving yourself the permission, which I think is part of the joy, to move forward
Mm-hmm.
with what gives you that joy, it opens up for you because we need to grow. Annette said it was just up here, it's just an evolution of life, of self. Life is like the moon. We go through phases until
Hmm.
we are full. And I don't think we're full until we've moved on.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
hope we remain, we hope we're full, we hope we remain curious, we hope we keep our spirit healthy and nurture ourselves so that we can be clear about what we want. And people say, I'm confused, I'm confused. I'm like, I don't really think you're confused. I think you're just not admitting to yourself what it is you want because you're deciding that maybe others may have an opinion of you because you want to act, you want to run a race, you want to buy a Ferrari, you want to do fly around the world. But you really do know what you want to do. It's just allowing yourself to admit it to yourself. And then once you do that, the universe and your own spirit starts giving you the steps in order to make that happen.
I like to do a little thing I do with people I work with sometimes, and I call it 7 layers deep, because I'll ask them, why do you want to do that? And they'll give me that first surface answer, and I'll say, but why? And they'll give me another answer. And as we keep going, I keep asking the why, the answer gets a little bit deeper because they think what they should be saying. And that's that surface answer. But when you start to peel the onion and get a little bit layered and layered and layered, then you really get to the core of why you really want to do what you want to do. And I invite people to do that because, you may think you want this, but really when you slow down and just kind of go inward and peel it all away, get deeper and deeper just by asking yourself, well, why do I want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
You'll find the real answer. That first answer is not the
Mm-hmm.
real answer. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
No, no,
I'm
no
with
doubt.
you. I'm with you.
Um, I wanted to answer the Ward Wilson. I feel the same anxiety with time running out because we're talking about
Yes.
short and still trying to make my place in the world. Here's what I say about all that. Here's how I feel about that. Change anxiety to excitement because
Like it. Yeah.
because you can transfer that. Yeah, it's brief. This is a, it's a brief journey that we have, but it's exciting as hell. And that, if you can transition that anxiety into excitement, into the excitement of knowing, yeah, I only have whatever time there is, not your business how long it is, not your business.
Okay.
Every moment is every moment. Every moment is every moment. And as you are accepting of those moments, that's another one. Accept those moments, you'll be less anxious. Um, Anxiety
Mm-hmm.
comes from not wanting to accept certain things. We want to control stuff. I know I have anxiety. I got it. I get it. But what I do is I try to allow myself, Phil, you're enough. It's okay. You are enough. You don't have to be more. You're not less. You're all good. And when I do that, I feel amazing.
Mm.
Because it's true. It's true.
Affirm
I
for
am enough. I am
yourself.
enough.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have to bullshit myself and just say, oh, you're the greatest. Oh, you're amazing. You're the best thing since sliced bread. No, I just say, you're enough, bro. It's okay.
And
Get over it. You got this.
that excitement I equate with possibilities, and those
Mm.
possibilities are exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
possibility. I got all these possibilities now, no matter where I'm
Right.
at in my life.
If
So
you're not in
that's
shape, you're
that's
not happy
exciting.
because you're not in shape, get excited. Because guess what?
Get,
Get in shape.
That's right. That excitement gets all those ideas that
yeah,
start coming to you,
yeah.
because whenever you're anxious, you're not feeling, then you've just closed down everything, and the excitement opens it up to new things. People say, I use this thing with a lot of people that I work with, and they say, oh, I don't know. Especially when I'm talking to people about writing a show. Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, can you guess? Well, but I don't know. But guess. That guess will get you
Mhm.
closer as we continue to peel away that layer of guess. Blah, well, it could be this. Okay, well, where does that lead you? And keep asking questions. That's sometimes it's like I'm looking for the answer. I think it's looking for the right question.
Mm,
And
Just
mm.
and not getting stuck in the indecision of making
exactly.
that
Right,
answer.
right. Our acting coach, John Lenn,
Mm.
we would have an exercise, the effective memory. And the effective memory is you recall a memory and you sit in a chair and you try and be as neutral physically as possible and emotionally. And you don't really describe what's happening to people who are watching you. It's just for you. So you say, I see that, I hear that, I feel that, those things. You obscure it for yourself. And so somebody asks a question like, well, what memory should I choose? And John would say, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. By the mere fact that you chose something, there's something there.
Yeah.
You don't know what
Yeah.
it is. That's why we're going to do the exercise. So it could be like I'm at the park with my dad, and things were great. We had through water balloons and stuff. And so what you do in the effective memory, you realize, well, your dad was trying to kick your ass with those water balloons.
Mm.
One that you thought it was as a kid, because what was happening was you hit your dad the wrong way, and he started throwing the whole bucket at you, and you couldn't escape him. And so you start crying in the chair because you realize this wasn't fun. This was terrorizing for me. And you didn't see that because the memory is whatever the memory is as a child. But the reality is it was overloaded emotionally because there was something else there. And he would say, it doesn't matter what you choose. There's something
Mm-hmm.
in there's something in every moment, every memory.
And just that you choose a memory,
Mhm.
just whatever it is, you may not be conscious of it. Just that you choose your thoughts. You may not be conscious of what it is there, but as you continue to dig deeper, talk about it, ask the questions, take a look at what it is and get it out of your system. I'm not it will, more of it will be revealed to you. And I'm not a fond person unless you're meditating, but of really sitting there and just thinking, because I think your brain can take you sideways. But talking it out loud, even if you're home alone, or writing it out so you get things out of you, typing it out, get it out of you, and then you start getting closer to what the question is or the answer is that you're looking for yourself. You
Well, that
know?
act of making of choice is an act of forward motion
Yes,
in your life.
yes,
And also another thing,
yes.
try turn on your voice recorder on your phone and just
Do it
talk
That's
into
the
it
other
all
one.
the
and
time.
then
Yes, thank you.
listen
All
to
the
it
time.
later. It's fascinating
Mm-hmm.
I do
because
that
to
too.
hear your
Yeah.
voice say those thoughts, it's
It's
fascinating.
therapeutic. It's therapeutic.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
emotional detoxing.
It is
That's perfect. Emotional
absolutely.
detoxing. And one of our
Absolutely.
listeners a while ago, I know Phil, you remember this, I said, but I have such dark thoughts. I have such, okay, a lot
Hmm.
of us have those dark thoughts, but you need to get them out. Get them out, and then you'll see where are they coming from? Why are they there? Because if you just sit on it, then they just grow because you're anxious. Going back to what you were saying, you're anxious and you're afraid. But if you get them out, take your power back.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And get them off of the loop because you're re-looping it
Right,
in your mind over and over and over again. So that's going to keep you
right.
stuck and keep you, rigid. So
So true, so true.
Why do you
Wow.
think martial artists don't fight? They don't fight.
What?
They just don't get in fight because they're in class. They get that out. I mean, I get
Why?
it out. I'm like, I'm punching a bag. I'm hitting a thing. I'm sweating. I'm moving. I'm kicking. The last thing I want to do is fight anybody. I don't want to fight anybody. I mean, I don't. It doesn't come up. I don't have any anxiety or anger about people. It just because number one, I know what I'm capable of, but I get it. It's gone. It's out of my system. I don't carry it around. My chest isn't out and the shoulders aren't up. Waiting for somebody to say something wrong. Oh, what? What'd you say? No, all that's gone. Because I've trained, I've practiced, I've sweat. It's gone. That's why working out is so good for people.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
staying
No matter
Yeah.
physical.
what it is. Get
Yeah.
that out.
That's how I feel about that too. If I'm anxious, I'm a Buddhist. I like to chant. I will chant, and I'll feel so much better. But I'll also take a walk, get on the bike, workout. Phil, I know you're a workout fiend. It's something that that physical movement of getting all those juices in your body moving and your brain moving.
Hmm. Hmm.
I look around. I was mentioning this to a girlfriend the other day, and I see people our age bending over, walking slow, or they're in pain. And my thought is, well, I've said to some people who are friends of mine, well, exercise. Oh, I can't, I'm hurting. Okay, you're hurting because you aren't exercising. You aren't stretching. And as we get older, we have to stretch. And even when you're younger, you got to stretch. Stretching your body, stretching your mind. Wow, stretching is such a big part of our life to help us be healthy and balanced.
Definitely.
And I'm gonna give everybody a tip. He's like, I don't work out. I don't people work out. So my son, my daughter, and her boyfriend, we're all on a thread, and we show pictures of us working out at the gym. We show what songs we're listening to. We encourage each other. If I'm working too much, I'm like, I'll show them a picture of the script. That's my workout today. Um, and so we have this symbiosis that's going on. We have this iron sharpens iron. We have this group that
Mm.
encourage. Nobody makes fun of anybody unless it's a funny picture that we send, right? But we support everybody. We inspire them. We motivate them, and we're all doing it. And we send the most amazing shots of us lifting weights or stretching or being on the beach or doing whatever. And it really makes me feel good that I have a group that's with me, that's behind me, that's helping motivate me. Excuse me. Excuse
A community with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So find your village.
Yeah. Your
Oh,
cheerleaders. Cheerleaders too.
Yes.
that's so
Right.
important in
Support
life to
too.
find
Yeah.
people who, yeah, who support you, who are
Yeah.
with you. Get rid of those people who are hangers on and bring negativity to you. I don't care how cute, pretty, how much money they have, how if they don't make you feel good, allow them to go find what's going to make them feel good. Allow them to go and let you flourish and attract better people, because if you keep hanging on to them, the universe is going to keep bringing those people to you because they're like, oh, those kind of people that person wants, so I guess it doesn't matter. But once you start weeding them out, you'd be surprised of the wonderful people who will come to you. Right,
And
Lisa, you
that,
were going to say something.
yeah, I was going to say that bad energy spills over into bringing other things into your life you don't want in your life. You know what I'm saying? It starts, it's like a tumbleweed and it just
Mm-hmm.
starts
Absolutely.
building and there's other stuff that's drawn towards you. And so,
That's
yeah,
back to the mental health question.
exactly.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see people walking the street and I wonder why. Why are they walking so disheveled? Why are they walking, talking to themselves? What happened? I'm interested. And I think we're all of us just like a heartbeat away from severe mental difficulty. And if you continue to
Uh,
allow these things to build up, if you continue to
Yeah.
ignore those microaggressions, you continue to ignore the signs of it, they have nothing. They have no place else to go. So they
mm-hmm.
will well up in you until you will crack at some point. It's like this.
Or yeah.
Hold on, real quick. You know when you're really tired, you're moving, you're like, I really got to slow down. I'm moving. I've been on a plane. I come back. I'm working, and all of a sudden your body goes, really? You think you should rest? Oh, you resting, and the body just pow,
Woo!
and you
I was
get
gonna say.
sick because you
Yep.
just can't go any further. So that is exactly the thing that happens to people who have mental breaks. The the mind just can't go any further,
Mm.
and it breaks and it snaps and they can't get it back. And I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want any people around me to be that. I want to help and assist all of us in exorcising, detoxifying this
Hmm.
element around us that is so negative so often.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you.
Yeah.
What were you going to throw in there, Lisa,
Sorry,
too, as
Lisa.
well? No,
He
no,
got
no,
into
no.
it.
Thank
No, no,
you.
no. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Mm-mm.
You were doing it.
That was good stuff.
If it doesn't show up mentally, it's going to show up somewhere in your body.
That's
It's going to
right.
be an illness. It's going to be a disease.
Dis-ease, yes.
Dis-ease.
Dis-ease, absolutely. So it's going to come out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah.
fool yourself and think it won't, but it's going to come out somehow, somewhere. So
And
Right.
you've got to be
The not me theory.
yeah,
right,
the not me
right.
theory, exactly.
You have to be honest with yourself that you're feeling those things.
Hmm.
Look for others who can really help you. Not always getting on the phone and talking to your friends is the best thing, because your friend will, you can do it, you can do it. And then by the time you get off, you're like, yeah, I'm feeling good. But when you hang up that phone, you you haven't really changed. That was just a rah-rah moment for the moment. But really look at your shit, because we've all got some
Hmm.
shit going on. We
Absolutely.
really got to look at it and take care of it. What does it take? And it's not going to go overnight. Work out. Just what you said, find your community. Just what you're talking about, Phil and Lisa. Find that community. Find those people who can be there for you. Most important one is the one you look at in the mirror every day.
Hmm.
Make sure that person is there for you, because you're right. There are too many people we've all seen who have been in a bad mental state and emotional and spiritual, and then something happens to them physically. They become ill because that
It
stuff feeds on you.
does. It does feed on you.
Man, and
Yeah.
it doesn't leave, and you think the way to let go is to take all these pills, and sometimes the way to let go is to look and see what's going on inside. I'm pointing here.
It goes back to taking that pause. You got to stop. Sometimes you just have to stop and pause and listen
Yeah,
Do
I'm with
less.
you.
and do
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 less. Yeah,
less.
slow down, do
less.
less, and listen to yourself.
Right. Simplicity is underrated.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
K9 came up with something, you guys. I've always wondered this, and I don't know why I have this thought. Maybe y'all can share your input. Do you think anger is nature or nurture?
Mm.
I think it's nature. I mean, I think it's part of you. I don't know. Nurture to me is like I think how you handle it could be nurture, but that it happens in your life. Animals get angry. All of us have can get angry at some point in time, and then how are you going to handle it? Are you going to let it out on somebody else? Now you've ruined their day. Or are you going to look and see, are you really angry at that person or at that situation, or is it reminding you of something you haven't dealt with?
I don't know if anger is natural. I don't know.
You think
I
it's
know that
nurture?
I think response is natural, survival natural. Anger is my emotion about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my ego
Yeah.
from
Ego.
being put upon or it not going my way. That's a choice, I think, anger. I don't know if naturally it comes into us. If all were right with the world, I don't know if anger would come up. I think it would.
Mm.
I think it's motivated, emotionally.
Do you
That's
think
my opinion.
do you think if it's motivated that it's possibly something that's in all of us? So it's about how we handle it.
I don't think
I
everybody
think
gets
it's part
angry.
of, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Not certainly in the same way. You know, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think the anger. If we all got angry the same way, I'm with you. We all breathe,
Mm-mm.
right? Natural. We all drink
Mm-mm.
water, natural. Now, when I drink the water and it's nasty, I get angry because the waiter didn't bring it or whatever. That doesn't seem natural to me. That seems like I'm
Hmm.
nurturing that effect. That, to me, I don't know.
Yeah,
not a scientist. I don't know.
no, I'm with
I'm
you
just
also. What you think, Lisa?
Actually, anger is part of the human experience of having emotions, and we are all going to do it differently. We're all going to respond differently. And I think you already said it, and I was thinking the ego is involved. The ego is going to run wild and act out in all sorts of ways. Each of us are going to do it differently. So I feel like anger is part of being human, but it's on different levels with different people
Mm-hmm.
because of how their ego is managed or how they manage their ego.
Agreed. I do
it's a
think that
great
all of us
question.
have that.
It's
Yeah,
a great question.
I think all of us have it in us to a degree, but how does it surface? How does it come
Manifest
out?
itself. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Don't know.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Um, I do think that we can choose anger or choose not to be. With nature, you have no choice.
Totally
So,
agree. Hmm. Hmm.
you know what I
Okay.
mean? So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's why Gandhi had a pacifist approach. He wasn't going to let them anger him. He wasn't going to
Mm-hmm.
let them win. He wasn't going to let them take his power from him. And that was what that was about. You know, the Upanishads, the people who, I don't know, you're Buddhist, you understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they will anger out of them. It's not worth it. It's not worth their energy. It's toxic. So if you can take that away,
Huh.
I don't know
Huh.
if you can call it nature.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have felt even at this time in my life, there are things I feel like what you said earlier to Lisa about I'm not going to let things upset me as much as they used to when I was younger, as much as they used to even last year. I've caught myself when I talk about this a lot. If Coach Soul is still with us, my husband and I, I might get up. I can get upset about something, and today I caught myself, and I was like, and I've done that before, and I'm like, well, to what end does that response help what we're talking about? To what end is that going to make us move forward? And really, how important is it? That's the other thing. How important is that moment? And whenever I found myself that I'm angry, I'm really angry about something else.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm really angry
Yeah.
about something else. It's not about that moment. Even when people get upset with me, even if they use my name, they're not talking about me. There's something else going on with them. And if we can take a moment and discuss it, then we can talk about it. Even if it's something that another person has done, it might remind them of what their parent did, their lover did, their so and so did, or something that pushes the button, as opposed to it's really a valid thing. Now, I'm not saying that's not out there, but a lot of times it's something to take a look at to allow us to communicate with each other instead of two people flying off the handle. Maybe there's only one, and then there's one who can say, well, let's let's dial it down.
I had something very interesting in regards to that. Somebody was I'm going to say pleading their case to me. And I decided to stay silent and not respond to it wasn't a back and forth. And what I notice is as they start to hear themselves and hear what
Mm.
they were really saying, and it was what you just said about just taking a pause and kind of hovering over yourself and experiencing what you are actually doing, they realized what they were saying, A, made no sense, and that it made them take a pause to to say, wait a minute, I'm not thinking right. And the conversation turned. Because if I had
Mm-hmm.
inserted my thoughts or I thought you were wrong, which that's none of my business, but just by staying silent, they worked it out themselves. They didn't need to have that back and forth with me. So sometimes silence is golden, seriously, when you're in a situation with somebody because they talk themselves down. It's interesting.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's a I'm yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up. Look at this. We often hear or see this phrase, "angry black man." Is that nature or nurture?
That's fucking
Nah,
nurture.
it's
Mm.
nurture.
That ain't nature.
That's
That's an opinion.
publicity. That's
Yeah, that's PR.
publicity. That's all that
SPR.
is. Yes.
So it
Mm-mm.
just begs the question, it's like Annette says, and be healthy. I don't know. She says it can be the conduit for change. Such and such makes me mad. For kidnapping of a child makes me angry. I use that anger to create agencies to help children. I think it makes us empathetic. Anger is a choice to respond. I have to. I teach fighting, right? I teach martial arts. I have to teach people not to fight the fight. Okay, so what we do is we take the elevator, right? You get in a fight, the elevator goes. I want to. So I teach you to get that elevator down to the ground. So you're not angry when you fight. You're just fighting. And if you're not angry when you're fighting, then you don't need to fight. Think about that. So
Mm-hmm.
the other person's angry, you pick up a brick, a bottle, or whatever, and knock in the head. I have to teach you to calm yourself. Because when you start to get angry when that person's angry, then you're up here and they're up here. And nothing that I teach you is going to come through. You're going to be acting out of I guess your nature, I suppose. But I'm there to help you get rid of that so you can defend yourself. So if I can't get that out of you, that is your nature. If you are willing to drop it, that's your nature. So I don't think it's a natural thing to be angry all the time or to be angry. We need to work on it. I think we accept anger too much, like righteous anger, too much. Our father used to love to argue.
Whew.
He loved to argue.
That's.
He thought it was a spirited conversation. I was like, no, brother, you just arguing. You
Mm-mm.
know, he loved to argue to just kind of provoke people. I personally didn't like it. I never responded well to it. It didn't help me grow. I learned what I didn't want to do, not what I wanted to do. I think anger is the same thing. I often say to people, "Oh, you're driving in a car. Somebody wants to get in, and you let them in, and they don't acknowledge you. How do you feel? Do you get upset with them because they didn't see how cool you were for letting them in? Or are you good with it because you just did the right thing?" So I think we need to start being cool with it because you did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Mm-hmm.
do it so that I get the response from you of "I'm such a cool cat for letting you in." I pulled my car back just so you could, and you're not going to give me any love? F you. Really?
And now you're going to get angry about about
Really?
it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
whether it's
Uh-huh.
nurture or nurture, and I thank K9 for the question, Coach for the question, but I think we need to work on it. I think we need to look
Mm-hmm.
at ourselves. Why am I getting angry? Over what? Kidnapping a child? Sure, I'm upset about that. It upsets me, and if it's my child, certainly I'm angry about that. That is what I would call an outlier, right? But the most things, the microaggressions that we go through all the time, every single day, we need to try to get rid of those things for us so that we can be more in the light, more positive, more supportive, more inspirational, more motivational, in my opinion.
It doesn't help us think clearly.
Hmm.
It doesn't help us find a way through. Lisa, what you also said in regards to that of being quiet and just it's like just holding space for a moment for someone to all of a sudden the only vibration in the room of negativity is the one that they're bringing into the room. It's it it's like what is it with a bear? Don't fight the
Hmm.
bear.
Don't
Lie
poke the bear.
down. Don't poke the bear. Lie down and pretend you're dead.
Hmm.
That's being quiet in that moment. And I agree. I think that's so important, especially when I'm working with actors and directing them, and they're frustrated in the moment, and me getting frustrated with them is not going to help. And it all depends on some people. They want to be pushed and pushed and pushed, but for the most part, just to work through it and just to find what's there because the anger blocks blessings is what I call it.
Nice,
Blocks
nice,
all
nice.
of that, you
Yeah.
know. And so not living in that space. And as I say that, I know I'm going to get angry at some other point in my life. That's what. But it's knowing that that's happening and how am I going to respond? Am I going to be and let it out, or I'm going to notice this happening? Go, wait a minute, 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 because there is a choice,
Mm,
and it's the
mm.
choices that we need to be clear about. I didn't have any choice. Yes, you did. We have a
Yes, you
choice in
did.
everything.
You always
Yes, you
have a
did.
That's
I
right.
love that.
That's right.
Hey, Ding Sifu. Did you read what Ding Sifu said?
I just looked over here. I'm gonna pull over here. Read it for us, Philly.
Put it up, man. Being able to remain calm when under extreme pressure, whether physical or emotional, is the highest achievement in
Come
the
on.
martial arts and a life skill worth the effort to cultivate.
I have a question, Phil, because I know you have a comment on that. That was beautiful. I have a question because I have wondered about this, and you kind of brought it up earlier. Martial artists who are really into their craft, as you are, so often talk about, I'm not going to fight. And I know you said it's because you're doing it all in the gym, but is there something deeper?
We know the consequence. You know, a lot of people don't think of the consequence because they don't practice. It just happens. Like fights are like, right? And fights are more courage and bravery than they are skill and technique, as any real good martial artist will tell you. I can have a lot of technique, and if I'm feeling very cool and calm, and somebody else is like really wanting to get me, they might have a situation over me. But I'm not going to let that toxicity overwhelm my spirit. And I think that martial artists don't fight because we do understand the devastation of the physical act of fighting. And if you're a skilled martial artist and you're at a high level, it's a very low level mindset to have to destroy somebody if they step to you. It's up to me to pass that person, whether physically, pass their hand, pass their mind, pass their spirit. If they continue to engage with me, then I do what we call write the contract. I might triple. Okay, no, they're on the ground. We're not fighting. I'm standing. You're on the ground. You still want to do this? They get like, they rush at me like a bull. I sideswept. They're on the ground again. I'm standing. Are you still willing to do this? I'm not angry. You're angry. It's not working out. They come at me and pop. I might have to separate their shoulder, which I can do. Now their arm is hanging down. I haven't had to bust their face up. I haven't had to destroy their knees or their rib cage. I'm letting them know that this isn't what they want to be involved with. As opposed to, oh yeah, mama, yeah, you ready to do that? You don't know me. I'm about to bust you up. No, very low level. So yeah, I have to teach people how to calm themselves in very physically demanding situations. And I think again, like Ding Sifu says, it's a worthy skill for us all to try to cultivate.
When I'm working with someone, I was just working with an actor in Boston, and there were things that he got very frustrated of having to write pieces. Oh, I've got to write this new piece and I don't know what to do. And I've got to have it done by this and that, or a delivery didn't happen or we got a call from the producer who said, oops, we've got to drop 10 minutes from the show. Like, oh, we thought the show was all these things that happen. I'm a firm believer in what I call them the creative gods. And I believe that they are never, ever going to leave us hanging. And my job is to put one foot in front of the other and to look at whatever comes up as an opportunity to create something new. And I use that in my life as well. Lisa and I were on here earlier, and all sorts of things were going on with this.
The gremlins are busy.
The gremlins were busy. And then we're like, well, man, Phil just texted us and said he may come. Well, I'm going to create a page anyway, just in case. And look at this. There was never a moment of pulling out hairs. And it was like, what do we need to do to fix this? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's turn off the computer and reboot. Let's just create a page just in case, let's be ready for him. And look at this. It could have been very easy. The choice could have been, oh my God, this is not working. Let this not be water that I'm actually drinking, but real wine.
We'll have all kinds of
right,
crazy looking things.
The important
But
thing
that's
to
about
know,
being proactive instead of reactive.
Come on.
I think like that. It's like when we're figuring out things, it's like, well, what? And this isn't thinking back, but what could happen, and how can I have something in my head of how to respond to it so it still goes smooth?
Right.
Stay proactive instead of reactive.
So good. And my guy here, our co-soul says, should we always be on the defensive in life? Isn't that minimizing growth? Is it case by case? No, you shouldn't be on the defensive in life. No.
And case by case, period.
However, eyes wide open, head on a swivel.
That's right.
Don't take for granted that
be aware
there's somebody else out there who isn't living the life that you're living. You might have a little aggression and a little weirdness, and it might come in your path. Just be aware. You don't have to be defensive. You just have to be aware and accepting of the vagaries of life, and you'll be much better for it.
understand who people are. You know, I talk to a lot of young girls, especially my granddaughter in that age group. I should be able to run at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night with my cute little shorts on. Yes, absolutely, you should be able to. Howsomever, as our father used to say, are you aware of the possibilities of crazies out there? So now you can't take just one girlfriend with you. You might have to take 5 with you and take a couple of guys with you. Go
And a
early in
dog.
the morning. Have a dog, right? One that will protect you. But it's just really being smart about life, about what's happening, and not take it. Can we be disappointed about it? Yeah, but it kind of is the way that it is. So just roll with it and do what you need to do to keep yourself positive and out there moving forward.
Go, Iona. Go.
Love it.
Well, you guys, this has been okay. We're at 7:13. She goes about 7:15. This is so awesome, Lisa. You've been awesome, you guys. Let me tell you, lady,
It's
you're just
fun.
awesome. So the look of our show. We've gotten some great comments about it. It looks wonderful. I can hear everybody and see you. This is so fucking exciting.
You know,
And
I'm thrilled.
I know, and you know, the universe is perfect, you guys, because the plan. Okay, remember we were talking about basically how plans can go awry. Phil and I were going to start this together at 6 o'clock, like we always do. But Phil got a gig, right? Phil got a gig. He wasn't going to be able to come, and then I called 5 people to come and host with me. Lisa said she could, but I knew she was busy all day. And at the last minute, Lisa said, "You know, I can do it." No, let me tell you, the universe is perfect because it is because of Lisa and I meeting and Lisa guiding me here and Phil going, let's go for it, that we're here and that we have this beautiful platform that's just going to grow and grow and grow here on YouTube. So thanks, universe. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Phil. And as we always do, Lisa, you are our guest. We always ask everyone to finish with some words of wisdom, something that you'd like to leave to inspire everyone, and I give you the floor.
Or just listen to yourself, follow your heart, because your your initial thoughts, your initial beliefs are the things that are going to guide you. So it's stopping second guessing yourself. Because I think at the core, we know what we need to do and eventually figure out how we need to do it. So don't judge, listen to yourself, and find that peace to be quiet sometimes to hear what you need to do.
Beautiful, just like you. Hey, handsome fella Phil, what you got to say?
The universe is perfect. That's what I have to say. Universe, and if you doubt it, at your own peril. Very thankful and grateful tonight, and I think that's what my message is for everybody. Maintain that thankfulness, that gratefulness, that graciousness. That we we underplay too much. We think sometimes too much of ourselves. And be humble. Say less. um, be around people who support you and you support. Don't carry a lot of sycophants and people who are just going to tell you what you want to hear. Hang out with people who will be honest with you and objective with you, and you will find answers to the questions that we've been talking about tonight as a result. And I don't have a lot to say. It's been a long week, couple of weeks, and again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and supporting what we're doing. We are living, breathing proof that the vision is possible. Every Thursday night we come on, we talk about these things, and you can see how they're made manifest in our lives. You see Iona's work, you see my work, you see our families and our vocations and the loves that we have, the hobbies that we have. They're all real and magical, and they are supported by these very conversations that we have every Thursday. And then the weeks, the days in between that we develop these conversations through the living and the experience of life. So don't live defensively, Kolsch. Live with joy in your heart, eyes wide open, head on a swivel, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Love that. Love that. Whoa, I'm so grateful to be here with these 2 wonderful, magnificent people and all of you. And I just want to say that that little kernel of thought in your mind, that idea that you have, whatever the ideas are, don't negate them. Go for it. Go for it. If you're going left and all of a sudden you feel like this doesn't feel good anymore, change it, baby. You be your own guide. Trust in you. The more you trust in you, the more life will give you more stuff for you to bounce on, for you to create, for you to do. Get out there and do what brings you juicy stuff. I know a lot of us sometimes have others that our parents, our families sometimes, oh no, don't do that. Oh, our loved ones, make it be safe. Honey, do what you need to do to make you happy and watch them turn around and go, I knew it. I called it. You are the one you've been waiting for your whole life. You are your true love. Remember that every day. Affirm who you are. You heard Phil do that earlier. He was having some stuff and he reminded himself he's enough. You, my darling, are enough. And I want you to have a great week. And know that we're going to be back here on You the Tube next week. So before we go, I just want you to know where we can find us. Lisa, where can we find you, baby?
I'm on YouTube on An Appetizing Life and Instagram at Lisa Marie Todd.
And Phil? Yeah. That's where you
All that.
All that.
All of that right there. Get at me, yo.
And that's me right there. Check us out. Check me out. And of course, our show has its own page. And so here we all are. And we are just really grateful to have you all here and want to send you love. Everybody have a great friggin' week. We will see you later. And as I always like to say, night, night, Philly.
And
It ended.
yeah, you're still alive.
I'm still live. Hey, you guys, I can't figure out how to end the show. And Philly's gone, so let me.
It's okay. We're live.
We're
Hey,
live,
everyone.
and we're like, I'm figuring this out, and we're gonna make
Do
it
you want
all
me to
happen.
talk
I got rid of my comment section, so I can't even see what you guys are saying. Isn't this fun?
That's
You,
so
you,
funny.
you know, a
This
lot
is
of
live.
this is live. A lot of times, what ends up happening is it's like you get the show cut off, and
You need your main page.
yeah, my main page, I think it's gone away. Let's see.
It should
Let's
be there.
unlock this. All right. Let's, we're just going to keep going, you guys. We're kind of finding things here. This is our first time here, and I really don't know where my main page is.
Look on your desktop. I love how I'm just like smiling as I'm doing this. Look on your desktop.
And oh, you know what? So funny. Hey, you guys. So this is my first time on YouTube with Phil and Lisa on The Vision is Possible. And there are two pages that come up with the pictures. And I've been working off the other one instead of the one that says finish and we're done. So, we're done. Good night.
Bye.